So the Color of Water project, let's talk about that a little bit since tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to be discussing it in class, and you're going to be filling out a sheet that will be worth points that will allow you to brainstorm and start sharing ideas as to what you're going to do with this project. So don't forget the objective again. Students, you will do an in-depth analysis of one of the themes in the chapter of the novel that I assigned to you a few weeks ago. And you'll be putting together a creative project showing that you've discovered, what you have learned, and what you have thought about as you were doing your research on this topic. And it can be the main theme of the novel, but I've also told students that it can be just a topic discussed in your chapter of that novel. So for instance, some of the chapters talked about things like jazz music that James played, the civil rights movement. Specifically, it talked about Martin Luther King at one point. It talked about the Black Panthers at one point. In one of the chapters, it talked about, a lot of the chapters, it talked about Judaism. And then even in one or two of the chapters, it talked about the Southern Baptist religion and the New Brown Memorial Church that Ruth and her first husband started, which is a real church that still exists today if you want to do research on that. Another chapter talked about Ruth's mother and her escape from the Russian soldiers in Poland. So maybe you want to research, what happened in Poland with the Nazis' invasion, or with pogroms in Russia, which was talked a little bit about as well. Maybe you want to talk about the KKK was mentioned in one of the chapters, and there's a lot about prejudice, and there's chapters about abuse, sexual and child abuse that was done in Ruth's household, integration of blacks and whites, and you can even talk about like biracial marriages, and religions coming together in marriages. There was talks about polio and strokes, having a stroke, and there's all kinds of things in these chapters that you can do research on. So look at your chapter carefully and pick a topic, or you can pick the theme of that chapter and do a presentation on it. So let's look at what the requirements are, what the directions say here. Of course, read the chapter. Read the chapter carefully. Pick an idea, pick a theme to build your project, your presentation around. Develop a project for yourself that will then be able to, you will then be able to share with the class so that we can learn more and we can have more insight into your topic, into your theme. And during your presentation of your project, discuss what you learned. Be sure to include the connection between that topic, your theme, and the story itself. How did it fit in with the story? And then what did you learn about it? Think outside the box. Try to develop a project that fits your skills, your talents, your personality, and a project that gives you the drive to do your absolute best. Starting November 7th, you'll be doing your presentations, and each student will get 5 to 10 minutes for your presentation of your project. It may be interactive, where you can talk with us, ask us questions, get us involved, or you can do all the talking and just present to us, whichever works best for you, whichever you're most comfortable with. Okay, so tomorrow, on Tuesday, you're going to be in groups again, and you're going to have individual sheets that you need to fill out that will be due by the end of the bell, asking you questions about what you're planning on doing, what your idea is. So tonight, take a look at your chapter, get some ideas going, play ideas off of somebody in your house if you want, or another peer, or just think to yourself so that you are not caught blindsided tomorrow during class. So you're able to fill out your sheet and discuss things with other people at your group, at your table that I'm going to be making your desks out of. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, and I need you to be able to apply what you thought about for this project onto that paper and turn that in so I can start seeing where you're going with it. All right, so that's it for tonight. Think about your project for tomorrow. Read one chapter in The Color of Water.